What? I'm still getting used to the new UI. Alrighty. Let me go to my components and run docs. So yesterday, while we were working on this, I realized something that I'm kind of doing wrong or silly. Like that's not what I really want. So we were building buttons yesterday. Button. And the thing we're doing with buttons, which is slightly weird, is that I started with all of the appearances I have, like all the color styles that I have a badge, an alert, like we have these badges. Just as visitor load. Never mind. Let me show you button. Yeah, so we have all of these buttons, but which I kind of like while building this, I was taking it from Bootstrap. But there's like a very fundamental difference. Like there's a way that Bootstrap does it differently, which is they actually want to have all of these variants because they can't really guess which one is your main color, right? Your brand color, your CTA. But in our case, we don't actually want all of these colors. Like having all of these colors makes very little sense over here. So what I want to do is kind of roll back what we did in the last one and actually make like a coherent button set, right? Because to be honest, you wouldn't use like all of these 4 or 5 colors across your app. That just makes it like super inconsistent and exactly the opposite of what we really want. So to begin with, I'm going to start deleting stuff, or I'm going to start renaming stuff. So like always, I'll start with the docs. Let me open all of the things, button MDX. Great. So the default button, I'm kind of happy with it. Then I also realized this because there's a reason style system differentiates between color styles and button styles. It's because button styles rarely match your color styles, right? Like you want alert, which is different colors, but you don't really want your buttons to also have like a bunch of colors. You want a little more consistency. So what I want to do is I have this button, which is like our default. So we're gonna leave that as the default, I guess. And then I want to create an appearance. Let me actually drop the word default here. Right, so I've got this default, and then I want something which is more like a brighter color, like the call to action, which I'm gonna call primary. And this can be the primary. And then I want a secondary button, which should be a little more just like the outline, right? I think Twitter has buttons like this, where they have, this is like the primary thing, I guess. And then they have these, which are like these are just icons, but they have secondary buttons. Where can I find them? Okay, because I don't know where to find them, let me find another example. Yeah, so look at this. This is like a secondary button, which is just outline. But at the same time, Dribble also has their primary colors, which are like bright pink, which is their brand. I'm sure I can find one. Like this is another outline, and I never know where to find things, but there we go. So this is like their primary, right? It's a bright pink, but then they have all of these secondary, which are just outlines because they're not as prominent. So that kind of makes a lot more sense, and that is what we should go for. So that's our secondary, and then we have a delete button. So it can either be called, I don't want to call it error. It should probably be called danger or destructive. I'm gonna call it destructive, and I'm gonna kill warning and keep link button because that's actually pretty useful there. Cool. So these are the buttons I want. Now I'm gonna go to the examples and kind of do the same thing there. These are the buttons. Remove all the others and give them like a margin right or a margin just to like make them look pretty here. Cool. So which should lead to half of our styles breaking because these are not something that we have. And then I'm gonna go to button styles and actually make these happen. So default is cool. Then we have the primary, which should be like a bright colored thing. Let's play with the green. I kind of want to make I want the components to have like a brand thing, like have one prominent color everywhere, and it can be blue, it can be whatever. I'm thinking of going with green, and of course because these are customizable, you don't really have to live with my choices. You can just like change the theme and get your own brand color. Sweet. Cool. So this should be kind of brightish. So I guess today's live stream is going to be more like designy live stream because we're going to design all of this. I hope I can also get to some of the other components. I actually forgot what's the next component. It is button group. Yeah, I guess we can of course get to button group as well today. Cool. So primary colors is going to be colors dot. I'm going to start with greens. And let's see what that happens. Yeah, I kind of love it. This is perfect. And then success is dead. I want to make a secondary color, which is, so this is where it gets interesting. It's not this I want like an outline. So this should be transparent, and I want a border, which I actually don't know how to do with this button styles. So I guess we're going to read the docs then. Style systems, documentation, API, border. Oh, this is not what I want. I want variants. I want button style. Button style. Okay, so button style definitely gives you color and background. What else does it give you? Is it in the API? Variants. Text style, button styles. There's a table somewhere. Oh, there we go. Reference table. Button style is a variant. Okay. It doesn't actually say what it gives me. Is it in the theme spec? Style system includes this. For example, button variants can be defined here. I think you can basically give it anything because it's a variant. So it just composes whatever you give it. I'm not sure. We can try it. So cool. Border 1 pixel solid. That should be there. And then border color. I'm gonna go with colors dot greens and maybe the same color as our primary, but in border. Let me shrink this back. Oh, and the color should be black now. Okay, so this border didn't work, I guess. Border is 1 pixel solid. Yeah, that's not a real thing. Can I go with border width 1 pixels? No, okay, let's find out. Border color. Maybe it does not compose everything. Okay. Because all the examples only have this, which is color and background. I wonder if we can find out from the code. Let's see. Is buttons... Does this have button styles? Oh wait, this is the docs. Variant. Buttons. Button style is variant. What is the... Okay, there's a variant. You get a scale and a prop, which is variant. And then it... Oh, scale is just, I guess, button styles. The thing it gets from the theme. Because then it uses a get, which is coming from core. So I guess it gets the value from the theme with, I don't know what null means. And if there is not a value, then I think it just uses the key. For example, like when we do, when we do this is coming from a scale of things, right? Like this is the scale and it picks the key. And if we just say something like red, then it just takes the raw value and puts it, right? Instead of a key, which is, I guess, this, right? Take the raw value. But it does not really say what I can use with it then. With that, I kind of want to believe that this is allowed. Not sure. Let's try something else. Let's try giving it padding. Padding should be 5. Yeah, that doesn't really do anything. So maybe I'm wrong here, and it only accepts color and background color. Kind of want to believe that's not true. Okay, there's another way we can find out, which is go look at components that other people use with style system. So I know GitHub's design system uses style system, and there must be a theme file somewhere. Bingo. Button style. Oh, which is called buttons. Wait, what? Button styles. Oh yeah. Okay. They have a bunch of things. They have all of these disabled colors, primary colors. Oh, they don't actually use button styles. Okay. I really like how they import all of the colors from like a different package. That's pretty smart. Okay, so now that we can't do that, let's see. I guess then we'll just do this in the component. I kind of don't like the idea of that. But okay, so for now, I'm going to give it something else. Like I'm going to give it a color of green. That looks stupid. I'm going to give it like a lighter color that we should change later. So it's going to be a green 2 with none of these. And I'm going to add a to-do for myself. Find out if adding border is possible here, right? And this ugly thing is just like an artifact for now. It's just gonna stay. Cool. So then we have destructive, which should just be our error thingy. Destructive, right? And then link is actually perfect. Link can stay. Cool. So this looks like a better thing. This is our default, this is a primary, this is secondary, this is a delete destructive button, and this is a link. This looks way nicer to me now, other than the fact that this doesn't work, which is annoying. Alright, cool. So let's move on to the next thing, which is buttons should also have size. So let's go again to the MDX. So I always write documentation first, because it kind of helps me figure out what the feature is. It's like writing requirements for yourself, I guess. Sizes. Buttons supports multiple sizes. That's like a useless comment. I'm going to delete it. It's not useful. And button appearance can be default. Size is something. So default, I'm going to go with just like small and large. Right, and then create an example, button examples, function sizes. Oh, there's a component. I'm just gonna copy this real quick and create two more. So button size. There we go. So this is what it should do. Examples of sizes. Sweet. And we broke it. What's called button examples. Okay. Great. So now let's go back to button. Button the component. Yeah. Add another prop type, which is sizes. Oh wait, I broke something. Invalid string. Oh, okay. Button examples. Sizes. Yeah, I forgot to export it. Okay, there we go. Reload. Cool. Sizes is a prop which I want to introduce here. We can kill this. Sizes is prop types. One of it only accepts small, default, small, and large. This is, it probably doesn't make sense to put it in the component itself, because then it's not really customizable, right? Like you can customize what each one of these mean, but if you want to introduce another one, like, I don't know, compact or something, you can't. So this should probably not live here and should live somewhere else. I'll figure out where. Cool. So this was our button guy. Yeah, I don't need this. Let's see. First implement it in the component and then we'll try to extract it. Size should be default. Cool. Now why is that one? Oh, not sizes, size. Cool. The width of this thing should be based on the size of it. So if we have something like this, where we have like a map, right? I actually want to right now do this here. This should be a default, a large, and a small. And default means, let's say, 36 pixels. Large means, actually let's put it here, 48 pixels. And then a small probably means like 24 pixels. I think all of these sizes are way too big, but we'll find that out. And width should be size of props.size. Actually, we would never customize width. We would only customize height. Right, and none of it worked, which is great. Size, call them sizes, of course. Props.size. button example. What does this have? Size, which is perfect. So let's debug this as props and let's see what do we get here. Cool, so we do get size over here, props.size, which is passed to height. Oh wait, we probably, what is inside this? Token button? No, token component, but do we modify the height? No, we don't, which is perfect then. Cool. So small is 24 pixels, which is what this will evaluate to. So let's say 24 pixels. Yeah, this looks tinier now. Oh, not. Oh, there we go. Height is default. What did I do? Oh wait, I think there's a size variant in style system. It already has support for size. There we go. Size controls width and height, which means I can actually just, this is easier than I thought. So I can just go to my theme, and I have all of these sizes, which I think are copy of space, which is not what I want. So I'm gonna kill these and make it, I guess I'll just make it what I want exactly right now. So it should be 24, 36, 48, and then for good measure I'll add 16 and 64 at the end, just so that we have a few more options. And now I can define these as sizes dot button. Small means 24. Actually, no. I should do this in a way that's sizes 1, default is sizes 2, large is sizes of 3. This is correct. I should change this. This is pretty bad. So sizes of button, and then I can, how do I do it in avatar? Sizes. Oh, that's cheeky. Cool. So I think I just need to do height is, wait. Height is button plus props.size. Not sure if that would work. It didn't. Failed prop type expected. Yeah, we changed these. Primary, secondary, destructive, link. Okay. Cool. Well, what is this? Render. It renders height as default, which is not what I want, because kind of wanted to take it from, let's see. So our base element that we have, this one, does this have support for styles? So size, I don't think it does. Size comes from sizes, which is part of layout. So I have it. This should not say small. This should say something like button.small, and then get translated to whatever is in the token. So obviously doing something wrong here. What's interesting to me is that it works for Avatar. Okay, let's just try to use one of these directly. When I say height, I want it to go to, say, like a really big height, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we'll know, does it actually say height 4 pixels or height the value from there? It doesn't pick the value from there. That's what's wrong. Okay. That's good. Now we know something more. Okay, so now you know something more, which is one of these is overriding this. I want to bet it's props. Yeah. So this props overrides this because there is a size element here. Should destructure this so that I can use size. Okay, so this is like a typical thing that it's like a very, I want to say, common mistake to do in React. I don't know, to make me look less stupid, which is sometimes you're using a prop which also means something to the element underneath it, and you want to pass all the props down so that if the user wants to give it something, for example, something like an ID, the element should actually get it, right? So you want to pass down all the props, and you don't want to be picky about it because there are like a million props out there, right? They might want to do ID, they might want to put an ARIA label or a test data ID. Like, you can't really guess the infinite possibility of attributes here. So you want to just pass down all the props, but you also want to kind of remove things that your component uses that don't make sense underneath the layers, right? And most of the time it's harmless. Like, this appearance prop is also getting passed down, but appearance doesn't really mean anything to the element underneath, so it doesn't really hurt, even though we should remove it. But size actually does mean something. So by passing it down, we're actually overriding the thing we were trying to do here. So now I can just bring it back, and this should start working now. There we go. I wrote a post on this on my blog. I actually got a new domain for it, which is smaller, and I think it's called Order of Props. Yeah. So just go to my blog, read number 24. Kind of talks more about the weird world of difficult to debug bugs because of order of props. Literally what we just struggled with right now. You'll expect that I'll learn after doing mistakes. Okay, cool. So now there are a few things to do here. One, the alignment of this is all wrong. It shouldn't be like this. Second, I'm not even sure if this is like good size to begin with. So I'm going to start with giving some margin on these. So button examples. Yeah, let's put some margin here. And then in our button, we do this strange thing where we give padding, right? So I'm kind of okay with the X padding for now, but the Y padding should kind of change because we actually don't want to rely on padding. We always want it to be in the center. So if we're giving explicit height on it, we shouldn't really need extra padding, right? Like those two are conflicting things, and then we should just figure out how do you always have this in the center. So this thing already has it in the center, which is good for us then. Cool. So these are buttons, default, small and large. I'm gonna change the order of them so that they look like they're standing height wise. Large, small, default, and this button MDX. Yep. Okay. Great. So now we've got 3 sizes, and then of course that means that you can also have different variants of these. There is an element of font size here that you probably don't want this to be as big, right? This should have a smaller font size. So something like, I think right now the base is 18, it should probably be 16 because it's a small button, or even like 14, which kind of fits better in this scenario. And the moment you do that, this padding kind of starts looking bad now. So you actually want to do padding the smaller size and not right. And this is actually a small button now. So the thing that we're doing here, we also probably should kill it and move these to the component while also keeping it styled. So I'm going to get rid of this for now and go to the source. And now we want to figure out padding over here. So right now there is no X padding, and padding X should be defined by okay, let's create one here, which is paddings, and let's create a map. So for the small, we probably want like a padding 2. For default, we want 3, and for large, we want 4. These are all like made up numbers. We might change them. And these are based on the size. So size. Right. And these are like, again, like I keep repeating this, but these come from the space values, right? So it's from this array. Okay, so perfect. Not so perfect. So again, let's play with font size. Font sizes are small. I don't know what the font sizes are. Font sizes. Cool. So font sizes, I should actually just hardcode them. Font size is small is 14. Font size is large. Actually, this is a bad idea because what is small? Small could mean different things for headings and buttons and everything. So we should probably code this in the component for now and then try to abstract it when we have 2 or 3 more use cases. So the default is the base size, which is easy to do. So it's just base, and large is, we should also code this 0, 1, 2, 3. We know that the base is 3, and I wanted small to be 14, so that's 2. Because 16 is not very different, and then I want to skip 1 over here as well and go with this, so 5. Okay. Font sizes of size. Cool. Let's see. Nope, nothing happened. Font sizes of size. Probably this is wrong. Oh, wait, do we have something here? In the button / token / button. Yeah, we have font size here, so that goes away. Border non-radius 1, okay. Yikes. We screwed up. There is no font size property here, so this did not apply. let's see what is it called. It is called font size, and it reads from font sizes, so that's cool. Font sizes to okay. As always, let's test out with something really crazy. Yep, so that's correct. But is this wrong? Font sizes. I'm gonna print what the font sizes are inside the button instead of printing children. This is just like another cheap debugging technique that I have. Cool, there's nothing inside it, which means this is not a value, which is amazing. So we do have size, which is small, default, and default. Was there an error on? No, there wouldn't be an error. Why would it there be? This is why people also like to use TypeScript. Okay, so this works. And now my large button should have click me, click me, click me. Perfect. So these are great now. This is slightly a little too big. Maybe I should just make it 4. But overall, I like the theme of these. Cool. This doesn't look a lot different than this. Cool. So one weird thing that we've done right now is we put all of these here in the component, which means they're no longer customizable by someone else. We should ideally put them in the tokens that we're building. Like this is the customizable config. So maybe I can do padding and give a map here, and then do font sizes and give a map here. And then use it from there. So I can say styles.paddings and styles.font sizes. And then I can remove font size. I can remove the plural because we don't need to name it that way. And then this works. Doesn't work because I broke it. Cannot read default of undefined. Okay, so styles is definitely a thing. And then you have styles dot font size. How do I keep breaking this? Font size. Okay. Console log styles. Wait, I can't really see my comments. So if you have been commenting, I'm sorry. Oh, there were comments, sorry. Can you implement animation inside button? I want to, but maybe later, not right now. Like a loading state is something that I want. Hey Chris, nice to see you here. I thought you would use Storybook for this. Sorry. Typo on default. Thank you. I wish I had the comments open. That's too bad. I'm sure you're frustrated. You're trying to help out and then I'm not even looking at this thing. Sorry. Cool. So the bug seems to be that this is still called font sizes, even though we changed it here. So why? Okay, now it's called font size. I think it's just like my laptop being slow to compute. Okay, now I'm gonna guess we broke something else. Yep, this is wrong. So the padding here is crazy. Aha! Again, what we're doing here is that we've kind of broken this because we passed down all the styles, so it kind of goes inside it. So we should destructure what we want. Like, actually, why are we calling it padding when we should just call it padding X? Yeah, that makes sense. Styles.padding X now. Yeah. Cool. Cool? I'm not sure if that's cool, because I don't think it did anything. Yeah, it's still taking the largest one, because padding X is also like a prop that we can totally pass. So we should call it something stupid like paddings and font sizes. Even though you probably want to call it this. I want to say there's like a variant for this in style system. Like you can make your own custom variant for this. Like we might want to create padding styles or something for button. Variants. Custom variants. There we go. Button sizes. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. So, and we can define its own scale. We can define its button sizes. And then we can pass a size, and if it has button sizes on it, then it should work. I guess that makes sense. Button sizes. But then we wouldn't really put it here, would we? We would put it like as a extra, or maybe we'll like destructure it inside the tokens index, right? Because we'll have to do something like button sizes is a thing now, which is button styles.sizes or something. Cool. So I'm gonna experiment with that offline so that I don't bore you with more debugging. But for now, padding and font sizes will do the trick. Oops, over here, font sizes and yep. Cool. So I'm gonna quickly get to button group now, because I can actually spend a week just building buttons, because there's so much, like there's so many ways of doing it, and like you keep discovering a slightly better abstraction like button variants, which I want to get into, but just not like waste your time. So button group now. Reactron. I'm gonna commit. Oh god, I'm gonna commit this because I don't want to lose all of this. Commit. We got buttons. Push. Oh yeah, by the way, so this repo is open source and it's already there on GitHub, and I just pushed this so you can actually go ahead, and if you want to try things out, then you can try it out for your own. And yeah, just I guess explore, look around. I guess some of you already found it, but yeah, do your thing. Cool. Let's create a new component. I want more size here. Cool. New folder called button group. Button group should have an index.js in which we will write button group from React function button group. Takes props, and for now just returns whatever is inside. Export default button group. Then we want some examples, right? I'm going to copy from another file I'm gonna close some tabs first. Okay, we're gonna copy something from here. Button examples, export. I remember I did like a mistake last time here, so I'm gonna copy this time. Simple, cool. And this should import button group. Button group. It should also import buttons, I guess. So button from, let's say, Reactron, like the library. And this is gonna put some buttons inside. Button, click me. Cool. So let's put one more. Cool. So we have 3 buttons now, and then I'm gonna go to the MDX. Oh, create another MDX called button group.mdx, and so now look at the magic. Right now this thing doesn't exist, and the moment we name button group, it's gonna reload eventually, and then ta-da, it's here. And this it breaks because there's nothing here, I guess. Here. Oh no, it breaks because my Gatsby node. Oh, it worked. Never mind. I was gonna complain about MDX. Kindly clarify. Is there a reason why arrow functions are not used? Mostly stylistic. Like it's how I like to write things, but there's no like any other reason. Like no code maintainability or performance or whatever. It's just when I write it like this, I kind of like it. It's more readable to me, which is like very subjective, right? Might not be to you. So no reasons. Cool. Over here, I want to import button group examples. Button group examples, and then render out button group examples dot simple. Alright, let's see if that works. It doesn't, because button group examples is not defined, even though we just built it. So this is where my Gatsby node setup doesn't compile it, and I have to restart the process. Still compiling. Okay, while it's compiling, we can probably write something here. Wow. Is it stuck? I actually have error messages, so if it fails, then it will tell me, which it's not right now. This is awkward. There we go. Now it's here. Live streaming kind of makes my laptop fan go like a jet engine. Still, poor thing is still trying. Anywho, we're gonna start coding the component because I kind of know what I want. So if you have 3 buttons, there are 2 things that you want to do with them. Right? You have it like this. So firstly, you want these things to go away. Right? You don't want them to have rounded corners or each. You just want like last and first, right? That's like the first thing to do here. So let's start with that. The other thing is like it shouldn't fold awkwardly like this. So we're gonna leave it at this resolution so that we can actually see it fall. Cool. So I built a stack component last time, which I haven't documented, I guess. Maybe I have. Let's see. Stack. Oh, I have. Cool. So what stack does, it basically puts things in like a flex kind of a thing, and it doesn't really fold them. So we can actually just use stack for our case. Let me go back to button group, see where it breaks, and then fix it. So import stack from the library Reactron, which is this library. So it's actually just importing this element, and we want to wrap. Oh, where did I import? God damn it! Button group /index. Yeah, import stack and then the wrap all of the things in a stack. Great. Does this fix it? I don't think it does. It does. Cool. So now we have interesting things like it does fix it, but then you see that it kind of tries to squeeze them, and which kind of ruins because now we have height which is fixed. So that kind of sucks. In most cases it will look like this, which is perfect. But if there is not enough space, this is, I guess we should call this a bug in the button, that it kind of folds. It should either, I'm not sure what it should do, because the space here is limited, right? So you can't really go infinite. I think either it should do the ellipsis thing, or it should just increase its height, right? So if we change it to min height, that should do the trick, I guess. So button index, this should be min height and not max height. Although that's also kind of stupid, because if you chose a small button but it overflows, then what was the point of that, right? It's like either you should reduce the size, reduce the text inside it so that it fits, or it shouldn't be there. So I'm going to go with that. The height should be fixed, and you should change the text, which means you should do the ellipses thing. So I'm going to add it to do add ellipses, like the dot 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 thing, if there is too much text. Okay. So coming back here. Right now, for now, we're going to live with this bug. But I'm also going to fold it so that I don't see it. And now we need to take care of this border thingy. So what we want to do is the first element should have this border and the last element should have that border, and everything else should not have any border radius. So this is where we can use map the children and then clone them and give the props that we want. So that gotta work. Yeah, let's just do that. I'm going to say return, or actually I'm going to say children are now react.children.map props.children, give a function which gets each child, and then I'm going to return. Okay, let's just see if until now everything is correct. Right, so until now what I'm doing is I'm just like mapping through the children and just returning them right back just to check if the syntax is correct. It seems to be correct. And then I'm going to say react.clone element, give me the child, and now I can add extra props here. So I want the index also. Now if the index is 0, which means this is the first child, right? Which means I want let me make something here, additional props, and then I'll just map this here, and then I can play around with this. So if index is 0, this is the first prop, and then I want additional props dot border radius to be something 0 0, right? Okay. How do we do that with style? Border radius. Okay, I guess we can just give it like the something, which is, I forgot. Buttons. Where is it? Radii is in tokens, components, button. This is the one we want to get, which is inside button. So we can actually just get button index, copy this, and use styles dot border radius. Cool. So this should be 0 0. I'm gonna hard code first. So 0 0. Oh, sorry. This should be. What is the border radius? Tokens index radii. 1 is 2 pixels. Okay, I want 2 pixels, 0, 0, 2 pixels. Okay, so this is what the border radius should be for the first one. Yeah, so you can see it it's gone now. And then else if it's the last element, which is index is equal to props.children.length -1, then I want additional props.borderradius to be the other way around. So I want it to be 0, 2 pixel, 2 pixel, 0, 0, 2 pixel, 2 pixel, 0. Else I want it to be just 0. So border radius is plain 0. I see I'm repeating this. I'm just going to get rid of this and make it let border radius equals 0. Cool. So by default it's 0. If it's the first child, then add this. If it's the last child, then add this and pass it along. Cool. So now you see it's like a smooth. We've kind of made it all smooth. It's on the last one and on the first one, and there's nothing in between. This is perfect. Now, what's bad about this is that when you change your tokens component button, right, and you want to make this like really crazy, something like maybe like a lot more border radius, you'll see that all the buttons, I'm gonna zoom out, all the buttons comply to this, like they're like super pill shaped, but button group isn't, because we've done some hard coding here. So we should undo that hard coding by giving something here. So this is styles, and can I just say buttons? What was it? Border radius. Right, and then this is just border radius twice. I don't know if this will work. Yeah, it doesn't work because it doesn't actually read it like that. Yeah, this is 3 now. And I guess it has something to do with how style system treats border radius, because it only puts it on border radius, the whole thing, and probably doesn't parse inside it. I'm not sure. Let's find out. Let's go again and read some code. Style system. Border radius falls inside border. Okay, so these are all the properties that it supports. It has border, border width, border radius, border right, border left. Perfect. And we want border radius, which has this scale and this border, and then it creates this by calling system on config, and system is inside the core. So we're gonna go to core then. core/index. Right, and then wow, what does it export? This exports compose. Wait, that's not exactly what we want. We want it to be, oh, we call it system, so it also, I'm sure, exports something called system. There we go. Export system. Why did I close that? Cool. System, it gets the config, and which it calls args, and it has a default config, and then it maps through this. For each key, it says args.key, so this is the value or the actual config. If it's true, Okay, I don't see why it would be true. Shortcut definition. Okay, creates a style function. If it's a function, I'm sure it's not a function. Otherwise, it goes and calls create style function here. Okay. What is create style function? Takes the property scale and puts it there. Cool. So which means that border radius, this is only gonna work if it's a string. What does it do with the strings? We give it a property and the scale. No, we just give it the whole config. The whole config is property and scale. So it gets the property and scale, and it takes things from the scale. Then it maps through. There's only one property. Yeah, so it kind of just like if we were giving something like all the scales that we've used until now are exact values. So for example, when we say border left, right, we're giving one value. We don't give a string in which some values are from the scale and some are not. So maybe that's not supported, and maybe that's like an interesting pull request, or maybe we should try something else. So for example, maybe you can do border radius top left. What is that called? Border radius, no, border left, border top left radius. Yes, what happens if we try to do that? If we don't call it border radius and try to do like a border top left radius, and then I'm just gonna give one value for now. Does that work? Yeah, so border top left radius is not really a thing for style system. It just completely ignores it. I hate to say this, but we might get some success out of giving it style. So, for example, we should actually just say border radius, the default is 0, which is what we're going to pass to all the components. And then we're going to make additional or just like styles, right? And if this index is 0, then styles dot border top, what is it called? Border top left radius is from its parent, and oh my god, border bottom left radius is also this, right? I'm gonna ignore the last one for now. Style, this should be an equal to, and then we can also pass these styles. Not sure if this is a good idea or a bad idea, or maybe I'm just reading the docs wrong and it's totally possible. Can't say. Okay, so this clearly works because all the borders are gone, and this doesn't work because this is not back. So let's see, am I writing it wrong? Is it not border top left radius? Border top left radius, which seems correct. Styles. Okay, let's rewind and let's try to put it on the button directly so that we know if it even works. I'm gonna add it at the end so that it overrides everything. I want border top left radius to be, I don't know, like 20 pixels. Right, and then let me go back to the button. Oh, okay, so this works. So style works. I'm probably calling it styles, aren't I? Yeah, this should be just styles. Style. There's no styles prop, there's only a style prop. We already imported button as styles. Won't it conflict? It wouldn't conflict inside this function because this function gets its own scope. So, I mean, it would conflict in the sense that we will get a new scope and we can't use the parent anymore. Like, we can't use parent styles inside this, which is what is here. So, yeah, you're totally right. It did conflict and maybe that's why it doesn't work. Cool, so by renaming it style, also we can't really pass styles as the prop, it should be style, so never mind. So this is perfect. I should delete this and save it. That's done. And now, cool, we have this back, which is great. And on the last one, it should be border top right radius, I guess. Oh my god, okay. Cool, so this is back. Now our buttons look good, but do they really take the right property? Like my buttons are all like super curved and pill shaped, but my button group is not. Let's see what I'm doing wrong. We got bottom border radius has 3 pixels because it doesn't really follow. Oh, okay. We're outside the system now. So when we import the token from button, we're actually copying 3, but we want it to be scale 3, not just 3 pixels. So we also want the scale. Okay, there's a way of doing that as well. We can say import get from our tokens, right? Tokens, I expose this get, which gives you a style system. It gives you a styled get, which is not really useful. We can also get just like the radii from tokens and then use like button border radius is radii styles dot border radius, right? And then we're kind of finding it from the scale, which should work. But essentially what we've done is we built a, like we're using style system for this because it does exactly this for us, but now we're doing it manually, which is gonna fail. Okay, cannot read property 3 of undefined. Okay, so maybe what does it export? Exports tokens and then it exports radii. Okay, so I'm just gonna call it theme and I want theme.radii. Cool. That ought to work. But yeah, it seems like I'm kind of I'm re-implementing some of what style system already does for me, which feels like either I'm doing something wrong, which is like, or this feature isn't supported and then you have to do this, because there are also a million CSS properties and I'm sure they can't support all of them, right? And this like CSS has like, what do you say, like shorthands, right? Like you can write padding in multiple ways. Like you can write padding as padding left something, and you can also write padding as 002 or whatever, right? Something like this. And their job now becomes to extrapolate each one of them which is slightly weird because you also have this. So they're essentially doing like CSS parsing and interpolation. Maybe they decided not to do that, which I can respect. That's a smart choice. Yeah, so I'm gonna test that out and see if they support it. If they don't, I'm not sure if they want to, because it does seem like something which is annoying and can break all the time. So maybe they chose not to do it, which is more speed to them. Cool. So button group works now. These are the two features we wanted. We wanted to stack so that it stays together, and we wanted to do the radius thing based on the button. I'm gonna reset the pill looking button because it's a little much. Component button. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to 1 or something. Yeah, I like 1. Cool. So yeah, so I've been live streaming for an hour. I'm gonna stop here, and tomorrow I don't like doing cards. They're kind of stupid. Drop downs are interesting. I'm going to do input so that I can actually do input group, and then we can start building some forms. Because right now it feels like we're not really building any application pieces, right? Like these are too skeleton. Forms is where things like really start getting along. And okay, let's go to components. The thing I'm talking about is I want to do these kind of things like input groups where you can have things before, things after, maybe have an icon, maybe have a button attached to it. Do they have buttons? Yeah, this one. Like you have recipient names and then you have a button attached, right? This is pretty cool. With labels, and then we can get into forms. Cool, so I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna push this code. Again, if anyone of you know if there's a nicer way of doing this, then by all means, please let me know. Commit, add ugly code button group. Good, origin push, head. Alright. Sweet. Alright, then I guess I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Ciao.